Greetings everyone and welcome back to Kadic Reviews, and yes, it's yet another video game review, considering that there aren't that many good movies to review, sadly, which unfortunately means the gaming industry has to deal with me more than really they should be, or that I would bother to do. But also, it's summer. And summer means you're looking for new games to play or you're playing catch-up. One of these games is Gearbox's Battleborn, the subject of today's review. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call this just a review. I would call this a demeaning warning to the people at Gearbox Software. Why? Because you're starting to become a one-trick pony, and that one trick only works in one game. Not even the one trick of your dry, sarcastic comedy can save you from this. Battleborn was essentially your attempt at a MOBA. Well, it's more MOBA than shooter. While it's immediately compared to competition, Blizzard Entertainment's Overwatch is more shooter than MOBA. How these two games can be joined at the hip is beyond me, because it shows a level of just basic level anti-intelligence. The two games play so fundamentally different in what they're trying to execute, yet they're often compared to each other, which makes no god darn sense. Especially when the latter is a game that came out 1 week after the former. Now, of course, this isn't a review of Overwatch. That will be a separate review, given its separate tidings. And obviously, by the sales numbers, Battleborn hasn't really done that well. Well, it stands to reason, and I'll get into it right now. Battleborn is a MOBA, essentially, a hero-style MOBA, in which you play as a group known as the Battleborn, sent to protect the last living star in the universe from the forces of darkness, led by some dude named Rendane. Each of the Battleborn have distinct personalities. However, they all fall under typical superhero or video game cliches, so there's nothing truly original here, just that they're a lot more animated. If you want to know about these individual people, that's when you'll run into the biggest crutch and Achilles heel that Battleborn has. It is essentially, you have to become like Jill Valentine. You have to become the master of unlocking, because you will be unlocking everything and spending countless hours trying to do it. In order to unlock character lore, you have to complete several character-themed and ability-based challenges in order to gain access to the small pieces of lore that the game has. Outside, of course, of the story mode. Yes, there is a single player, although I say single player with quotations, story mode. It's more like a training ground for you to learn new characters. Although, because of its AI difficulty, which spikes near the back end of the campaign, that's episodes 6 through 8, you won't be having much fun learning new characters, because you'll find a nice comfortable spot to be in with the character that ends up working the most. And of course, because you'll be grinding everything out, you'll be wanting that next big important thing to make you want to go do more things of the same thing. And that's also part of Battleborn's limitation, is its limitation. It doesn't have a big, long campaign. It's probably over in, I'd say about 4 to 5 hours. That is, if you can actually complete it, which I could not. Why? Because clearly the campaign story missions are built to be played online with a full team. There's that nasty difficulty again. And the difficulty doesn't scale for how many players are in the game. It just is universally. There's a normal mode that is slightly easier, but not really for single players. And then there's an advanced difficulty that is more difficult. Playing on advanced difficulty will give you more XP and probably rarer gear, but from my experience, I stayed strictly on normal difficulty, mainly because there's no real reason to switch between the two difficulty modes outside of XP and a few achievements at first. But more than likely, you'll probably need friends to play this game. Sadly, they won't end up buying this game because of the lack of content and the lack of true character behind it. Battleborn doesn't do enough upon first impression to really cause anybody to buy it at the price that it's currently on. Outside of the story missions, which do give you some idea into the characters using Borderlands' traditional sarcastic humor, beyond that, you're not even given much more to work with. And as for the gameplay itself, it plays like this. It's a traditional MOBA in the sense that you have levels and abilities that unlock over time. But, much like its sister game, Borderlands, you're shooting your way to the top. Using each character's weapons or skills of choice. Now, these characters, 21 in all, can be divided into your basic healer, tank, support, middle of the road class characters, to melee, to range, your typical tier list of MOBA style players. However, playing each of these characters does not feel dramatically different from one character to the next. And because of the lack of true power and force behind each ability you unlock, you don't truly feel powerful. And then there's the system of unlocking abilities. Killing enemies, of course, gets you experience, which then levels you up. When you enter the level tree, in which you literally have to stop and enter it using up on the D-pad if you're playing Xbox One, and probably also up on the D-pad if you're playing PS4, where you are given two options. One option will help with one ability, while the other option will help with another ability. But these changes in ability swaps aren't immediately seeable in the game. They feel like they have no strategical or physical impact to how a character plays. They just feel there, words on a page. I never got the sense that my character was even feeling powerful. And during the story missions, you will quickly rank up from levels 1 to 10 with relative speed, but once you reach level 10, that's it. There is no more. So you'll be spending a majority of your story missions playing with these maxed out characters that truly don't feel strong. A lot of the ultimate attacks, however, don't really have the impact and a punch outside of a few characters that they really require. Everything feels vastly underpowered, and the reason for that, in my belief, is the gear system. The gear system is a way to get step boosts throughout the game through completing missions and spending credits. But in the early going, don't bother spending credits because you won't be able to. Not on anything good anyway. Because you'll have to wait till level 15 of your command player rank in order to even do that. Which means you'll be spending hundreds of hours of grinding just to get to that fabled level to start spending money. Then maybe get random gear packs. On top of that, the amount of gear that you can actually have is sorely limited unless you buy more space, that is, with your money, which will probably be the first thing you end up purchasing. On top of that, if you can't wait that long, you can always go the cheap route and use real money to go and do this. Which, that's what it feels like the game is encouraging to do. Because even added characters, that's right, you don't get them all at the start. You only get about 8 to 10. The rest you have to unlock through your command rank. Or unless you want to spend $25 on the season pass though. That unlocks everything for you in terms of the characters, but none of the bio work, or none of the special skins, or unlocks. Essentially, you're still gonna have to bust your balls to get everything unlocked. And because it's a MOBA, every one of your character's skill trees and what you've accomplished resets between missions. Obviously, the Borderlands style system is meant for a more levels 30 to 50 style rather than the short 10 level style that this game is encouraging. The style of play here just doesn't work out. Plus, the humor isn't nearly as good as Gearbox's previous work, so it's not even that funny. But again, about that story mode, you'll be playing the same missions over and over again because of a lack of true control over matchmaking. When you enter a public room, you are given 3 random story missions. You best hope and pray to God that one of the 3 story missions is what you need, which will often not be the case. So you'll end up having to either go through missions you've already completed just for the experience, or you'll have to end up backing out of other rooms and leaving teams short-handed, which, because of the AI, is detrimental to their success, so it makes you look like a jerk. Yeah, you can make private rooms where you can arrange the mission and the rules as you see fit, but I dare you to find 5 friends with a copy of Battleborn that you'll be throwing around, and I also dare you to be throwing out random requests. It might be harder to do that than you naturally think. It's just a piss poor design decision by Gearbox to have everything locked up and not give you enough options to do so. And that's where it takes me to the versus multiplayer, which there are only 3 modes of play. One that plays like a traditional King of the Hill type headquarters match, another that plays like a traditional MOBA, and another that plays like a headquarters mode in ways. But because of the piss poor map design and the myriad of flaws in the system, even the multiplayer doesn't work out and isn't really enjoyable, especially in long spurts. It's just that Battleborn has a lot of great ideas, but none of them actually work for a MOBA. It's not approachable enough. Most MOBAs are free to play, or allow easy access to characters, or easy ways to unlock those characters through gem systems, or other come back the next day to unlock rewards so that maybe you'll unlock a character or two. But no, Battleborn chooses straight work over this, which means you'll be grinding hundreds of hours if you don't want to use the season pass route to get a character or two or gear that you'll want to attain. And yes, even the gear system is totally random, and sometimes you'll even get duplicates of the gear that you've already owned that you'll have to sell away for more cash for the random system to kick in again to maybe get you that very same duplicate. None of the systems actually work together, and although the shooting and when you're with a full team, the cooperation feels nice, it's under a very shallow, very underperformed style of gameplay. Although the style more or less fits Gearbox's MO of animated look and does look great, what you have here is something massively uninteresting and under-inspired and under-researched. It feels like this great idea was not only squandered, but totally destroyed in the development process. Plus, there is a lack of true character balance between the characters anyway. Although I doubt you'll find a reason to actually play with all 21, seeing that you'll see the long, boring slog ahead of you as you play it. It can be entertaining at times, but not for the $40 up front that the game demands. Yes, it demands $40 up front right now. And if you add the $25, that's a $60 commitment. There just isn't enough content, even with new Battleborn coming as free DLC, which is nice, and new maps coming free, there isn't enough content right now at the point of this review where I can wholeheartedly recommend it. But even if that content was present, what's here is a shallow, very unfocused, and very un-user-friendly MOBA experience. Battleborn wants you to play by its rules, while not giving you enough freedom to actually enjoy the game. The story mode is a nice notion, but it is not strong enough. Neither is the traditional MOBA multiplayer. Other MOBAs do it better, and other MOBAs are more approachable, more affordable because they're free, and character lore is most easily understood in those other games. Battleborn just requires too much work to feel rewarded for your dedication. And when that happens, games turn out unfun. Gamers love to be rewarded. I love to be rewarded. It wasn't a reward to play Battleborn. It was absolutely a battle not to be bored of playing this game. Gearbox. You have an idea of a great idea, but that's all that this game is, an idea. There are good things here, but this isn't your zone, and it clearly shows. I know you can do better, but I have to show you some real tough love. There's a reason why this game is widely ignored, because by all due respect and honesty, it should be. This is the worst Gearbox game that has ever been done. Even Aliens Colonial Marines, which they had no business in anyway, has some things right. This game just doesn't. That's why I have to drop the hammer on Battleborn. An inspired but unrewarding bad time. A 1 out of 10. That's right. This one is the one. The worst next-gen game so far. And it's saddening that it is. Because it, like the next one, had a lot of potential. But you'll have to tune back in or possibly subscribe to see what game I'm talking about. And for this one, I even brought in a little help. Until next time, find peace in your own nirvana, and definitely find a better game to play. And I'll see you next time on Kadic Reviews inside Code Equestria. See you then.